Hey, what's going on there everyone? If you guys are looking for a plugin that contains player classes, RPG leveling system, even specific player attributes, as well as casting skills and abilities, well, MMOCore is the plugin for you. So this is actually what we're going to be showcasing in today's video, and it is premium and is a bit more on the expensive side because it does have a ton of cool and unique features built into the plugin. Obviously, MMOCore, so it is a core plugin for your MMORPG style servers. So in this video I'm going to be covering basically an overview of what this plugin contains. We're not going to really dive a lot into the configuration just because there is so much. Just going to head and briefly go over some configurations, but most of the stuff is going to be in game. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, getting started with this plugin, one thing to note is that this plugin does hook on and work with quite a bit of other MMO style plugins. One of the ones that are probably most commonly used is Mythic Mobs, as well as Quest or Dungeons XL. So this summer actually is going to add support for Beauty Quest, so be on the lookout for that as well. So you can basically hook in a Quest plugin to your MMOCore plugin as well. So that is a nice feature coming up above. But let's go ahead and get started. When a player joins your server, they're going to be put into a class. So the main class that they're going to be putting into is Human. And to basically add or change classes to one of these five, so you have Rogue, Warrior, Marksman, Mage, and Paladin. So each of these five, you do need something called a class point to be able to change classes. And so to see what class you're currently on and all your player attributes, you can do the command /player, and this is what the player will see. So here you have all your various skills, or essentially just your mining, woodcutting, farming, fishing, alchemy, smithing, and enchanting, and smelting. So those skills will level up over time once you start doing those things within that skill set or profession. Then on the right hand side we have, basically our player overview, what our level is, our progression, skill point, and as you see we have a current class which is Human and a single class point which is needed to change classes. Then down over here we have our physical, so this gives you basically your strength, how much damage, speed, your health, stamina, and armor toughness, dexterity, and then intellect, and all of these play a big role. This is a lot of back-end mechanics that do go into this plugin, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot in here guys, and I highly recommend looking over the wiki as well as joining the Discord to get very specific things, because this video is just going to be a broad overview of how everything just kind of ties in to the core features of this plugin. So the main command for this, you can do RPG or MMOCore, and players do need a class point in order to even change classes. So if we do class point, and we can give, and then give a player, I'm just going to give me one extra one. So a good way to do this is if a player is first joining for the first time, you could give them a class point. There is already an option set in the config where you can actually give a class point by default to new users. But if you want to do more creative ways, you could do like a voting system, or if you want to do like a tutorial creation after they finish the tutorial for their server, then you can give them that, but it is up to you, whatever you want to do in that method. So I actually added one earlier, so now we have two class points, but we can do /class, and now we can choose whatever class that we want. So I'm going to choose the maid, and we're going to do yes, we want that. So if we go MGM0, as you see, our mana is going up, and because we are the mage, and as you see our mana did go up to 27. Now with that being said, we can do the command /skills because now we are in a class. So each of these skills we get a default of Firestorm because we are level 1. So each one of these is pretty cool. So this one, as you see, requires level 3, Power Mark, Fireball, Minor Healing, Ice Spike, Ambers, Weaken, Warp, and Greater Healings. So this is all the different types of skills that we can actually level up. So as you see, there's various levels we can gain, which is pretty cool, and you do need skill points in order to upgrade. However, we already have Firestorm, and as you can see there is a cooldown and how much mana it does cost. Now if we look over on the right hand side, we can actually load up our skills on our player, and we can actually activate them when we're like in a PvP match or something. If you're fighting mobs, whatever, you can actually load them up. So if we go ahead and do our skill number 1, which is Firestorm, now we can actually use the command, or not the command, but the keyboard F on our keyboard, and that will bind us to a specific number that we can cast this skill, which is amazing. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. So here we have the Firestorm, and then if I use my scroll wheel, what we can do is go to the next slot, and it's going to do that Firestorm for that spider, which is pretty cool. And once it is blue, that means that it is basically regenerating the mana. Once it turns green, we can basically launch in there the Firestorm. And so there we go, that looks pretty awesome. I love that. So essentially, you can go to the number 2 in your hotbar slot. So this is the first slot that I'm currently on, and then once I go number 2, we don't have enough mana quite yet. So now it looks like we're loaded up, so we can cast again, which is pretty cool. See, that does work pretty well. It's not super powerful, but it does light them on fire, which is pretty nice. And here we are regaining again, so if we come back down here again, we'll go to our level 2. Boom, look at that, that's awesome. I do like those particle effects, and we're going to regen our Firestorm again. We can actually cancel the skill casting if we want, and then we can start fighting. If you are in skill casting mode, you cannot basically go to your hotbar. You can just hit that whatever skill casting that you were currently on. So as you see, it is set to our second hotbar, so we can just keep on running until it rebuilds, and we should be able to cast here in a second. There we go, we can cast again. So there we go, we are casting, perfect. So yeah, that's awesome. And then we can hit F to cancel it, and then we can move our hotbar all around and start PvPing, which is pretty cool. So I went ahead and gave myself some extra levels, and we are now at 87 mana. So I'm going to head and get my Firestorm ready here, and we can do 1 and launch it. Boom, there we go, which is awesome. And one thing I love is that you can actually do these skill attacks from quite a bit far ranges. So we're just aiming at the skeleton, we'll do the Firestorm, and look how accurate that is. That looks fantastic. And there's a spider in that tree, and we can go ahead and send him a message, get out of there. One shot, one kill. I love that. This has some distance for sure. So this looks amazing, guys. Oh, look at that. I love that. That's so cool. That looks amazing. I just love playing around with these effects, man. I'm pretty enjoying myself just kind of running around, launching some Firestorm attacks here, and we should be able to launch it again. Boom, easy as that. So I do love that. That's pretty awesome. So I want to show you some more skills here, because I basically give myself some level up. So now we have all these skills, which is pretty great. So this power mark is pretty cool. So we can actually do a specific magical mark, and we'll spread across the ground, and it's going to take 10% of the damage to the initial target over 10 seconds, which is crazy. So then we can also do our fireball. So if you click our fireball here, and we can set it into our skill slot too. So here we have our Firestorm and then fireball, and then there is some healings that we can actually like do to ourselves, and then ice spikes, because that sounds amazing. So we'll go ahead and set that to skill level 3. We also have ambers, dealing magic, 30% of dropping an amber on the ground, and then when we pick it up, the amber stack and refund 10% of our missing mana, which is awesome. So we can set that. Oh yeah, that's not an active skill. That's just something that happens. So this is just something that happens, as well as this something that happens. We can also weaken, we can warp, and then we also can do greater healing. So it instantly grants us full HP to the target, so or we can sneak it to cast it upon ourselves, which is pretty cool. So I want to upgrade my ice spikes, and so I think we are just currently on level 1. So I'm gonna shift click, and I think we have, yeah, so now we are currently at level 11, which is awesome. Alright, so now we have all 4 of our skills. So what we can do is, if we press F, as you see, we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are our basically our skills that we can cast. So let's go ahead and spawn a mob. We'll do a spider. We'll do 2 spiders right here. So you're going to cast a firestorm. Oh, look at that, that's awesome. Now we can cast the fireball right there. Perfect, that was super cool. And there is those ambers that we were talking about earlier, so we can actually pick that up and get 10% back, which is pretty cool. Now we can cast an ice spike, so let's cast it down over there. Come on. Oh, that was the wrong one, my bad. And there's the ice spikes. Oh, that is cool. So let's do some more. So let's do ice spikes. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Great sound effects as well. And then we can also shift and do greater healings. So there we go. We just healed ourselves, which is awesome. So let me go ahead and spawn like some skeleton here. So skeleton, we'll do like 5. We can cast some firestorms there, and let's see here. Boom, there we go. That's awesome. We can go ahead and spawn some more. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so cool. And I think most of them are dead. Ice spikes to you. Oh, I think we might die here, so we need to shift, and there we go, and heal. So there we go, we are casting all our stuff, all of our spells. Oh, I completely missed that. But now we are re-healing, and we also have our fireball back. So let's go ahead and do a fireball. Oh, I keep on missing the fireball because it's got to be a little bit more accurate with that, but we can cast that firestorm. So that's super cool, guys. So each class does have their own skill set, which is pretty cool. And since I am such a high level, I'm at level 61, we can upgrade to our class, which is the Arcane Mage, and we have mastered the power of the Arcane. So that is awesome. You can see how much strength and dexterity boost and intellect we do get of being the Arcane Mage, and we're going to head and select that, and boom, there we go. Look at how much we gained for that. So now we have even more mana than we had previously, which is fantastic. So we are definitely mastering those skills, and as I mentioned, each class does have its own skill set that you can use, and you can just basically, each player can level up those skills as they go along. And one of the great features to this plugin is that literally everything is customizable. So you can actually make your own classes, you can customize your own professions, attributes, skills, and so there's so many various things that you can totally customize yourself to make it very specific and unique to your server. And the default template is just an example of what you can do, and you can just base off your config from that and then go from there. But definitely check out the wiki because it gives a lot more in-depth explanation. But this plugin is fantastic. So next thing what we can look at here is some attributes. So if we take a look at our attributes, it does bring up this menu. So this is where the strength as well as dexterity and intelligence comes into play. So you can also give specific attribute points as well. So I'm going to head and cheat a little bit here. And we can do our RPG admin command, and we can do our attribute points. We can go ahead and give myself, let's do like 30. So if I open up the attributes menu again here, so depending on how many points you actually have, we can actually set either 10 points or specific ones. So I'm going to shift click, we can add 10 here, dexterity and intelligence. And if you kind of want to reallocate your skill point, you can actually do this. Now, if we take a look at /p or player, we can see, hey, we now have plus 10 basically of our strength and our dexterity and intelligence, which is going to help us a lot. So if you see on the bottom there, Stellium region, this is actually really helpful because you can actually do waypoints, and so waypoints actually uses Stellium, and so it's very similar to how mana is used. However, Stellium region is a lot slower, so you can actually set specific waypoints. So if we open up waypoints, as you can see, these are basically different places you can teleport to. And what's really cool is you can do RPG, and then you can do waypoints, and you can actually unlock for a specific one. You do like spawn one, and we can do Soul Striker. So now if we look at waypoints, as you see, here is our spawn and spawn one. So for this specific waypoint, we need to be at another waypoint to be able to use this. And you can actually set multiple waypoints in the config, and you can set specific attributes for each specific one. So I'm not going to cover that, but there is a picture on screen that you can see some examples. And you can set specific waypoints in the configuration, and you can give them specific destinations and different attributes. But for this one, as you can see, this one costs 9 Stellium, this one is 0, and this one is 4. So I'm going to do the 0, and it has very nice sound effects and very cool animations. and it's going to teleport us just like so, which is pretty awesome. So I really do love that waypoint system. It is pretty fantastic. So going down the line here, there are specific loot chests that you can customize and basically randomize the drop throughout the world. So these are some pretty cool unique attributes, as well as customized specific drop tables. So there's a lot of in here that you can customize and just edit in the configurations. So me personally, I will love to see the integration of Beauty Quest into this, because Beauty Quest offers a very nice interface. You can completely customize everything in game. You don't need to go into the configuration for that. There are friends and party systems, so we can do /friends, and we also send a new friend request to the whoever is online. Currently it is just me, but as you see, you cannot send a friend request to yourself. We are all alone in this world. But anyways, once you have friends, you can also do parties. So you can do like party system, and we can create a party, and here you can invite 6 other players, and you can go to like dungeons or around the world, and there is an explanation of the wiki. And this also does work with other like party and friends, and I think there's another plugin it does work with. But for instance, you can set up all this configurations, which is perfect. So that kind of wraps up a very much brief overview of this plugin MMOCore. As I said, there is a ton more features that I didn't even cover in this video, but there is a very active developer and a very active Discord server. You guys can go ask all your support needs there. But anyways guys, hope you did enjoy the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Peace out.